Hello everybody, welcome to Dungeons & Drams. Today we're going to be talking about a much different kind of video than we usually do. Usually we're making prompts and we're putting together magic items and monsters and whatever else. This week we're going to be talking about a product called Campaigns Never Die. This is a campaign that just launched this morning and there's a link in the description and the top pinned comment. And this is a sponsored video. However, you know, I've never really done sponsored videos on this channel because a lot of them are garbage. And I will say I had a conversation with the developer who's making this product. I am myself a director of engineering, so like this is a thing I know a lot about. And when I talk to James, I'm seeing a developer who knows what he's doing, has a passion for what he's doing, and frankly, is making a cool product. So let's take a minute, go through this. I want to show you some of the perks and then show you what they're planning on doing. Won't be a super long video, but it's one I think you should watch. One more quick thing. This software is in alpha, so if you see anything that doesn't look quite right or act quite right, that's to be expected and is very typical for something like this. They're going to be launching on Indigogo here. You could join the alpha if you'd like to, and you can actually contribute. There's a Discord around all of this. There's bug catching. There's like new features being dropped all the time. It's actually pretty cool to be involved with an alpha. So let me show you what they actually do. This here is called the Forge. Now it looks a little bit like ChatGPT, just a tad, but we got this little gremlin guy here. He's kind of fun. And if you click on him, you're going to see that this tool can help you to create a few things. We have worlds, NPCs, adventures, characters, chapters, and we'll go into that in a minute, creatures, encounters, and then there's an assistant that kind of teaches you how each one of these tools work. And I would definitely encourage you to check out the assistant because the intuitiveness of this product is not quite there yet. Again, it's alpha, but that's totally fine. So let's go to NPCs. That is a thing that we have done here on the channel before, and it's totally, you know, something I can relate to. Is this a good NPC? Is it a bad one? So let's give it a quick little prompt. For some reason, I decided to be very cliche. My players have gone into a tavern and there's a figure sitting in the corner. Tell me all about her. I'm going to hit go. And what we've created here is Vanera the Vexing Vagrant. Now, I might decide I don't really love that name, but I do like Vanera. So we'll just edit this, change it to Vanera. Sounds great. And then we'll save that. Cool. So this is now Vanera. And as you can see, she comes with character art. She has her actions. There is a challenge rating of 5 for her, which is pretty high for a random NPC in a bar, but you know, maybe don't mess with her. There's some lore, her origins, background, current motivation. Basically, this gives you a ton of information about this person, which is awesome, including their actions. So like, this is ready to go. And why is this useful? Like, why is this more useful than just going to ChatGPT and say, give me the same thing? Well, here's why. Number one, all of this stuff is like formatted in a way that is predictable and makes sense. If I need this quickly, I can go make this quickly. And that is something very useful, you know, for both session prep and honestly during the game. If you need an NPC and you're like, oh yeah, there's a shadowy person in the corner, it's a woman, she's wearing like black leather and she's filing her nails or something like that, and then they're like, oh well, I'm gonna go walk over there. Meanwhile you're typing like, give me a person, blah blah blah, and now all of a sudden you have this. This is super cool. All right, so that's an obvious reason, but honestly that's not like super useful beyond what's currently available. So what else can we do? If we look here again, we have worlds, adventures, chapters. Let's go to worlds. Now, the world builder is something that you could use to actually make your entire world. So I'm going to change this and I'm going to write a little something here for a prompt. So I'm going to prompt it with, I need a world for my players. The campaign will be high fantasy. I'd like some cataclysmic event to have happened in the past that has repercussions into present day. And we're going to go ahead and generate that. Although Campaigns Never Die's creations can be used straight out of the box, that's not always the way that you want to do it. You want some of your own creation. So as I mentioned, you can use this edit button to change whatever you want. But if we look at this, we have Alia, the Shattered Realm, a land rebuilding after cataclysm. So as you see, it's kind of like a whole bunch. I mean, it generates this little image. I think that's super cool. It's a whole bunch of little floating worlds. It talks about the Order of the Aetherbound, which is a bunch of wizards and scholars. There's residual magic, which is pockets of unstable magic left from the Great Sundering affecting the environment and people unpredictably. It warps reality, creates magical anomalies, empowers or curses beings. That's like a lot of stuff that you could kind of play off of there. Maybe you have a whole lot of aberrations in this world, but either way, all of this very easy to generate, or at the very least, you could use this as inspiration for whatever you want to make. I selected creature just thinking that we'll do a monster, and I'm going to just hit random here. Definitely not what I was expecting. We have Ignatara Starfall Nymph. This is, let's see, CR9. Wow, CR9 Nymph. Let's see, they kind of have some mushroom stuff going on. They have flames. They have legendary actions. So this is a legendary creature. That's cool. Celestial Blaze, Starfire, multi-attack, all kinds of stuff. This is very cool. And obviously you could give it information about what you wanted. You could say, I'd like a, I don't know, a dragon or a Catablepus if you want. I love throwing the Catablepus in there. Anyway, so this is very cool, and it gives you some character art as well. If you don't like that art, you could click on this thing and it will regenerate you some new image. And now she has a much different kind of artwork, which actually looks freaking awesome. That's a really cool artwork. Holy crap, I love that. All right, so actually let's do this. Let's take this. I'm going to show you one of the coolest features, and this is still definitely in alpha, so it's not going to work perfectly, but it's worth showing. This right here can download the creature and all of its stat blocks into a JSON file, and then you can import that into Foundry. So I've created a non-player character. I'm going to right-click, import, choose the file, and then I'm going to click on Ignatara, and then import it. And now suddenly this is in the game. 157 hit points, it's got character art, it's got all this stuff. Actually, it has its features, its actions, legendary actions. Earlier today, these actually didn't work, which just goes to show being in an alpha is one of the coolest things, because things change all the time. And I can just, you know, make my Starfire attack if I want to. And here we go. Starfire, ranged attack spell. I don't have this all set up properly, but as you can see, everything works. And that's only going to get better. Going over to Indigogo, we could see that there is kind of a 3-tier release concept here. We have the prep, play, and post. So with prep, a lot of these features are currently working in their alpha state, and you can do things like generate a world, you can generate NPCs, monsters, everything that we saw earlier. But then we also have play. Now there's some features here that are going to be very helpful, and it's almost like, I saw some screenshots, it's almost like a virtual DM screen where you can have access to all of your characters as you are playing. And this is going to be something that's super helpful. There's also some additional features that are going to help you while you're playing live at the table, but we could talk about those another time. Then there's post. Now, it's always helpful to have notes after your game, and if you have a transcript of what happened during your game, you're going to have a way easier time planning your next session. And this is something that's going to be super helpful for you to continue to play your game. I encourage you to go check out the Indigogo because they'll do a much better job explaining things and exactly what they're offering than I will here on this video in such a short amount of time. However, one thing I do want you to pay attention to is this little graph here. It shows you kind of all of the features that they're planning on offering, as well as some of the things that it offers over competitors. So something good to check out. Also, you can see here that they have all of the different tiers. That's something to check out. If you subscribe within the first 48 hours, you actually get a pretty significant discount at 20% off. So definitely consider doing this early if you're considering it at all. One thing worth mentioning as well, because I know a lot of people have very strong opinions about AI generated artwork, and you know, that's totally fair. I absolutely see where you're coming from. One thing that they've made it a point to do is talk about how they are using AI ethically by specifically using DALL-E in order to do their image generation, because things like Midjourney don't really let you opt out of it learning based off of your personal artwork, whereas DALL-E does have that action. So if you as an artist decide you do not want these large learning models to be using your artwork to learn from, you can opt out of that, and they have to abide by that. DALL-E is one of the kind of leads in that concept, and that's why they've chosen it. So worth mentioning. There are a ton of new features that are planned, and frankly, James just needs your support. So go check out the Indigogo. It's something really fun to be part of an alpha process because you get to watch bugs get squished, you get to watch new features drop. All of these things are really fun to be part of, and you should try it at least once. All right, go check out the links in the description and the top pinned comment below, and check this out. If it's something that you're into, awesome. If it's not really something that you're into, then we'll be back next week with a regular ChatGPT style video. All right, have a great rest of your night. Cheers.